No more half measures, Walter. I had a killer, now I don't. You are not the killer. Welcome back to Fog Entertainment. Who's the killer? Is it Dokes? Is it Dexter? Is Jonathan Banks going to find out? Is he going to break bad? Is he going to kill good? Let's find out.
Say goodbye to Mike and say hello to Deputy Max Adams of the FBI as Jonathan Banks trades in AMC for showtime.
It's showtime, folks.
Although, to be fair, I mean, chronologically. In terms of the time, he might have actually been in Dexter first, due to the fact he doesn't really come into Breaking Bad.
No, he absolutely would have been in Dexter first.
Yeah, maybe it's the opposite way about. He traded in the FBI. Maybe that was his job. What did he used to work? He did work as a police officer. Maybe it wasn't the FBI.
Oh, come on. Better Call Saul puts your theory to shame.
Maybe Breaking Bad and Dexter's in the same universe.
Oh.
I'd say that's more likely than fucking The Walking Dead and Breaking Bad.
But Better Call Saul puts your theory to mince.
Well, that's a shit show. I'm not going to talk about it here. On this channel, we're going to talk about Left Turn Ahead, though. It's the penultimate episode of Season 2, and we get Dexter, who's basically got a lot of shit on his mind. He's got Dokes trapped. He needs to get rid of him, or he needs to let him go free, or he needs to kill him. He needs to do something with him. He can't keep him caged up. He's got the thoughts of his father committing suicide due to him being a murderer, and that's beginning to weigh heavy on Dexter. And he's also got a psycho ex-girlfriend who's still trying to win him back and basically ruin the lives of one of his pretend friends. I say pretend friend not because Dexter doesn't like him, but it's more because Dexter isn't really capable of liking people. But if he did say that if he could like anybody and if he could be anybody, he'd want to be Batista.
I'd want to be you, Dave.
Gay, but I mean,
it was a wee bit gay, and probably the only person Dexter said this.
So yeah, the code is pretty much broken now because Dexter realizes, look, my father gave me a code and it killed him, so what good's this code?
The code breaker! He's got to stop doing the code, stop using the code.
But Dokes manages to realise that Dexter does have this code, and the fact that the code is that he can only kill people that are bad, so you have to deserve to die. And Dokes is probably sitting there thinking, well, you know what? I don't deserve to die, so maybe Dokes is getting a little bit of hope that he can see outside.
To quote George Michael, you gotta have faith.
You gotta have faith, and at the moment I think Dokes has got to have a little bit of faith in Dexter and a little bit of faith in Harry's code. But Dokes, did he have to tell Dexter the truth about Harry? I don't know.
He didn't need to, but he thought it was a last resort, didn't he?
He did, but it seems like Dexter's his father figure now is just completely shattered. He's not had a good relationship with Ghost figure or Flashback Harry in this season, but now it seems like he's lost. I don't know. He's just lost. He doesn't have Harry anymore.
Harry's gone. There's something about Harry. He's a lying bastard.
Yeah, Lila then obviously accuses Angel Batista of rape, and Angel is soon relieved of his duties. He's suspended, so he's not permanently fired, but he will be depending on the outcome.
He had to give up his gun.
Dexter visits Lila in hospital, and he tells her that it's desperate and that this will not work, but she's adamant that it happened, and she says, look, Dexter, we're soulmates, forget about what happened. Me and you are soulmates. Dexter, though, he leaves the room, he talks to Angel, and he says, Angel, it's going to be okay. I love you, Angel. Well, he doesn't say I love you, but I mean,
that would have been a wee bit on the...
He kind of tells Angel that he likes him.
I like you, Dave.
Will Dexter be Angel's guardian angel? Okay, he needs one. He's screwed.
Will Dexter be accusing Angel of rape?
But with no progress or very little progress, and well, to be fair, I think they've made a lot of progress, but not enough according to the FBI. So Deputy Director Max Adams comes in, and this pushes Special Agent Lundy to the side. Honestly, what I thought this was is we're getting close to solving this case, so let's bring in the Deputy Director to take the credit.
Yeah, you see this happen a lot where someone higher up comes in and just hoovers it clean off the person who actually did all the work. If Lundy's, had like,
got this far, why not just
but the guy's pretty... He's caught every killer he's hunted.
Yeah.
Realistically, what's the need for anyone to step
in? Yeah, why the fuck would you push this guy to the side?
Like, say he failed and he didn't catch him. Is Lundy a failure? No, because he caught every other killer.
Yeah, no, he's got an unbeaten record. The scuba divers find the knives that Dexter planted, and obviously he put Dokes' handprints on them, his fingerprints, so the search for Dokes intensifies. We all know that they're closing in on Dokes now. Dokes is our man. According to everybody, Dokes is the Bay Harbour Butcher, but Maria LaGuerta doesn't believe that, and she's doing her absolute best to get Dokes off, I guess, from murder, serial killer. She wants to get him.
I mean, of course, she cares about him, but she seems to be like the only one in the entire.
Where's the loyalty to Dokes? It's almost like nobody fucking. It's almost like people secretly didn't like him.
There was a bit of loyalty, like Batista couldn't believe, no, it's not for this. It's not for this office, not for this depot. But then once it came out as it was Dokes, it was like, well, has to be him. Can't believe it's Dokes, huh?
Maybe it is from this depot.
Yeah, I get right. I think Dexter should be realistically the only guy that's not really too bothered if it's Dokes, because obviously he is, and he's got Dokes locked up. But everyone else just doesn't really seem to care.
They don't care. Dokes manages to escape the cage, though, which is good for him. But unfortunately, he runs into two people, and they're tied with Jimenez. So they're coming to collect the cocaine. He tells them that he's a police officer, probably a bad move. Yeah, you know what? I thought this was stupid for Dokes. I think he could have. I think his best case here was probably two dodgy-looking fuckers here.
I don't know what you call these boats, but
dinghies. I don't know.
No, it's not dinghies. They're like
speedboats. I don't know.
They're pitched. You know, the tip. It's like the Resident Evil 5 boat he uses in the jungle, sort of thing. But I think Dokes' best course of action here was to stay undetected until he made it back to like a
now, I get it, he has been held hostage and shit like that, so he's not thinking clearly, but
he's been getting fed and he's drinking.
He's been eating fucking energy bars. I mean, it's not a great meal, is it?
Oh, well, I mean, I've seen worse nicks of people.
But he gets smacked in the back of the head and he gets taken back to the cabin. So, I mean, Dokes, no fucking luck. And they start having him basically muling the drugs, SOA style.
Yep, he's carrying them out like a soldier.
Like a slave.
Yeah, pretty well it was.
Hands tied, he's carrying out the cocaine. But Dokes spots Dexter in the bushes. That seems to be like a Dexter thing. If Dexter was a wrestler, I think he'd be Goldust. Just like that weird kind of guy.
Golden Globe.
Just that guy that kind of like, hides in the background, just there.
You know what? Dokes and Dexter, what could have been? Because this was great tag team action here. Wiping these two out.
Yeah, they work together to eliminate the two drug runners. After it, though, Dokes he thanks Dexter, saying, thanks, man. They'd have killed me after I got the cocaine onto that boat. But then Dokes quickly realises, shit, Dexter's going to kill me anyway. So Dokes finds himself back to square one, locked inside, imprisoned inside this little cage that he has been in for the past, 48 hours now? Or it's been a couple of days, I believe. However, Dexter realises that he can't do this. He can't just betray the code. He can't betray Harry. Maybe he feels guilt that Harry killed himself over what Dexter become, and he was like, well, I definitely can't kill an innocent man. And with Dokes' help, Dokes' advice, he's like, you can't control this shit, Dexter. Sooner or later it's gonna come out and you're gonna hurt the people closest to you. And Dexter then, I think, listens to Dokes and decides, you know what, I'm going to turn myself in.
I'm going to turn myself in, Dokey boy. Thank you. Thank you for playing. The price is Dex.
The price is Dex, but Dokes like, okay, good, motherfucker. Get me out. I'll come with you. Me and you can walk in there together. But Dexter tells Dokes he can't do that. He needs a day in order to get his affairs sorted. He just needs a day to get everything right. So he tells Dokes, look, I'll be back for you. You just got to give me a day. He then goes and spends the afternoon with Rita on the boat with the kids, enjoying one last family time.
Bit of fishing, bit of deep sea fishing, trying to fish some tuna out there in Miami Bay.
And then he goes to Lila and he asks Lila to drop the charges against Angel. He says that you're only doing this to try and hurt me, to try and get back at me. And it's not going to work because after tomorrow, I'm not going to be here. Lila doesn't quite understand what that means. I think she took that as maybe he's running away with Rita.
Yeah.
But in reality, Dexter plans on handing himself in and going away.
Well, I guess it would be correct for her to think that rather than handing himself in to being the Bay Harbour Butcher, because she doesn't know anything about that. So, running away with Rita it is. And this definitely wound up Lila here. Dexter had won the verbal battle.
It did. Deborah does a little bit of digging into Lila because she's trying to get Angel out of this whole scenario that he found himself in. And she learns that Lila is living in the USA illegally and that she can be deported on an expired visa. So Deborah visits Lila, basically gives her orders to leave Dex the fuck alone, leave Batista the fuck alone, jump on her broom, and get the hell out of Miami. Go back to whatever shithole she crawled out of.
London, England. Somewhere in England. That's where she's from. That has to be where she's from. And I just want to touch back on Dokes. It's like, He had that one big opportunity to escape, and I think he dropped the fucking ball.
Drop the ball, man.
I can't help but feel he dropped the ball. I get it, he was weak, he's probably disorientated, but it's all over for the big man.
But yeah, Lila isn't going to take this lying down because I guess she goes to try and break into Dex's car, maybe find his GPS, find out where he's going tomorrow, and maybe track him, maybe stalk him. Why not? She pretty much has been doing that for the entire season, so why not continue to do that? She gets his GPS while he is spending the day with Rita, and she basically goes and drives to his last destination. So, where's she going? Nobody knows.
The Everglades. That's where we're going.
The Everglades. Later that night, Dexter asked Deborah to come over for one last meal since he's going to hand himself in. I guess he wants some bonding time with Deborah. He also wanted to sign over a bunch of shit. So basically everything he owns, he's given to Deborah. He cooks steaks. They have some beers and they're having some good... There was actually a funny scene where it showed you him going over in his head what would happen if he revealed that he was the Bay Harbor Butcher. Then we got like a bunch of 4 or 5 different scenes and how Deborah reacted to the news, and I thought that was a pretty good...
It felt like a comedy show, and I like the fact Dexter does these different things. It's not just your cookie cutter bland TV show. I like the fact Michael C. Hall narrates. I like the fact they use scenes like this. They utilise it very well, and it's another good example of that, which makes it unique.
Yeah, I think it's unique, and sometimes the show is so dark that you need a little bit of relief.
Yeah, I think if you take away all the narration and all like the humour and things like this away from the show, it would literally just be I wouldn't say it'd be bland, but it would just be a guy killing people. It's a lot more than that at this point for me, so... Anyway, Dexter, get stuck into your steak.
It would be. So they're getting stuck into their steak, but the phone goes, and what is this? There's a lead. They have Dokes.
They have a dog on a lead.
They have Dokes' car. So Deborah gets excited. Dexter's thinking, oh shit. Obviously, if they're zoning in on Dokes' car, they're zoning in on Dokes. And that means they're going to find Dokes locked up in a cell, and that certainly will not look good for Dexter. And then we end the episode with Lila, who was obviously tracking the GPS. She gets to the destination, which is also the title of the episode. Turn left, turn ahead. She turns one last left turn, and it takes her to the cabin where Dokes has been trapped inside. We hear Dokes banging inside, asking, "Is there anybody out there?" And then Lila, I think, responds, "Is there anybody in there?" And, well, no shit.
Yeah, Dokes was gassed. Anybody in there?
Dokes sounded like he was smoking 60 a day here.
Sweat was pissing off his dome.
And then the episode ends with Lila just standing outside the door. And is she going to go in? Is she going to find Dokes? Is Dokes going to get saved? What the hell's going to happen? You're going to have to tune into the finale. And I think that's a pretty good cliffhanger. What I like about Dexter is, I think if you look at both penultimate episodes, they've been cliffhangers.
Yeah.
But then you look at the finales and they just like sort of everything gets, all rocks get unturned.
That's what it should be. To me, that's the perfect way to end the season.
I think
penultimate episode.
It's the cliffhanger, and then everything gets settled in the finale. See these shows that, and I think Sons does a good job of that as well.
Yes.
I think the penultimate episodes of Sons have the cliffhanger. For example, I think Donna dying in Sons is a good cliffhanger.
Yes. Opie shooting Clay. There's got 2 episodes after it. For examples. I look at like The Walking Dead, and yeah, Shane dying, the penultimate episode, things like that. But I think The Walking Dead just relied on a lot of cliffhangers, like Terminus, like.
I think the Negan one was the worst.
No, that was.
I think a week's wait would have been fine, but I think it would have been easier for them to keep under wraps who actually died if it's only a week.
The only thing I would say about that probably is like the most iconic one.
A whole
TV history,
like a whole year to see who died,
and the hype for it. So I can almost forgive them for that. But literally every other time like they've done it, it's not been good.
Yeah, but for me, I think the major cliffhanger should be the penultimate episode, and then the finale basically wraps everything up. So yeah, that's the end of it, guys. Lila's outside, Dokes is inside, Dexter's sitting in his fucking rental flat apartment eating steak, and that's not where he needs to be. He needs to be at that cabin. So we'll find out what happens in the finale. As for the rating time, what are you giving it?
I'm going to give this episode an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10, buddy. I'm going to give it a 9. I really like this episode. I like to see Dokes and Dexter working together for a brief period, and it, makes you think if Dexter was truly right about Dokes, if Dokes was a killer, these two could have made a great team.
Nah, Dokes would never done that though.
No, I know, but if Dexter's what he said about Dokes is true, and that Dokes was a killer just like him, I think they would have made a great team.
You could have offered Dokes all the tea in China and never teamed up with Dexter.
Do you think Dokes would have maybe teamed up with someone that wasn't Dexter? Like, if Dokes found that Batista was a killer, do you think it would have swayed him a wee bit?
I think it would have helped, but no, I think Dokes was a straight shooter. He's a lone wolf, Captain. Woof.
And he's been alone in this cabin, but he's going to get saved next episode, guys. So yeah, 8.5 out of 10. We'll catch you in the next one. Let us know your thoughts down below. And until then, been Fog Entertainment. Thanks for watching, and peace.